rock hard jawsing it, or
God damn it.
are we not gonna do that?
Well, we have
I
to
just
now.
see this now.
Well, you say it now.
I'm never gonna be able to look at this snow globe and not think about rock hard jaws.
Yeah, you did something wrong to that snow globe. I really wish I hadn't been here.
Do you want it? Do you want it?
No.
Do you want to kiss it?
I don't. I haven't even seen the front of it yet. That was a lot. It looks,
You shake it up like.
Well, you gotta get the glitter going. It's a snow globe.
Oi.
I'm an animal.
Are we here for it? Come on. Shot number 3 for episode number 3.
Right, yeah.
It was so tasty last time you did it, you remember? God, it tastes like rubbing alcohol.
God, it burns for so long.
Use some tequila to wash down my tequila. Oi. It's always that third one that hits the hardest.
They all hit the hardest.
Stings the nostrils. There might be copyright on that. Welcome back to the Jony Jawscast. God, that flows off the tongue so nice.
I'm Johnny Maresca, your host.
And I am your co-host, Brian Calvert.
Why do you say my name better? It's so frustrating. Say it less sexy.
I'm Brian Calvert.
Alright. I'm just being hurtful. It's fucking rude.
I don't want to switch places and redub lines. Please don't
No.
make me do it.
No, not again. No, you take over. I don't want to do this.
All right, fair enough. So if you're just joining us, we are covering Jaws 3D this go around. This is our third and final episode on Jaws 3D. If you have not had a chance to check out our first 2 episodes where we cover our likes and our dislikes, in the first episode and in the second episode we talk about the production of the film and some of the casting and maybe which actors were or were not massively high on cocaine. For this episode, we are going to be covering the box office results, the reception of the film, the special effects of the film, our final thoughts and rankings on the film, and one special category that we are both very much looking forward to talking about. So, with that in mind, we're going to go ahead and jump right into it and waste no more time because I'm pretty sure there will be plenty of time wasted at some point in time.
That doesn't sound like
a... No, not at all. All right. So, if you recall in our last episode that we recorded so long ago now, there was some discrepancies between the writers of the film and the studio and the direction they wanted to take it, which we both agreed was probably the right direction in comparison to what the original producers of the film, Zanuck and Brown, wanted to take it. They wanted to make it a comedy and a spoof, rather. Jaws 3, People 0. The studio did not want to do that. They wanted to keep it in line with the franchise as a whole, which we agreed was right, but studio also wanted to bring the Brodies back into it and hired Joe Alves, production designer, but someone who had never directed a picture before, and that led to maybe lower quality for the overall film. Now, Joe Alves was the production designer on Jaws 1 and 2. He clearly has a background of special effects. So we're going to dive right on in to the special effects portion of this film, which I think we can both agree this is arguably the most effects heavy film in the franchise, I would say, if you factor in the 3D aspect. Oh, yeah. And there is a ton of shark. There might be more shark in this film than there is any other film in the franchise, as far as like what you see.
Without the 3D, it's already so much shark.
Yeah. And then you add in the 3D aspect. So we're gonna, for this section, we're gonna be talking about the 3D and we're gonna be talking about the special effects. So I'm gonna hop on over to Wikipedia here, and there is a lengthy, I mean fucking short story amount of verbiage for me to read. So please forgive me as I try and make my way through all of this fucking dialogue. There was a revival in the popularity of 3D at the time, with many films using the technique. Jaws' second sequel integrated the technology into its title, as did Amityville 3D. That was the one I was forgetting from earlier. Friday the 13th, Part 3 could also make dual use of the number 3. The gimmick was also advertised in the tagline, "The third dimension is
terror."
Bingo. As it was Joe Alves' first film as a director, he thought 3D would give him an edge. Sure.
Ouch.
Cinema audiences could wear disposable polarized glasses to view the film, creating the illusion that the elements from the film were penetrating the screen to come towards the viewers. The opening sequence makes obvious use of the technique, with the titles flying to the forefront of the screen, leaving a trail. Yeah. There are more subtle instances in the film. Totally subtle, where props are meant to leave the screen. The more obvious examples are in the climactic sequence when the shark is attacking the control room and in its subsequent destruction. Yeah, obvious to say the least. The glass as the shark smashes into the room uses 3D, as does the shot where the shark explodes with fragmented parts of it apparently bursting through the screen, ending with its jaws. Woo! There were many difficulties in making the blue screen compositing work in 3D, and a lot of material had to be reshot. All right, with that in mind, we're going to take a quick break from the fucking novel I'm reading over here. And we are going to jump into, what do you have for your effects section? Do you have anything specifically regarding what we just covered with the ending, with the shark breaking the glass?
God, it's just so painful. It's just so anticlimactic.
What? There's there's so much to talk about in that one shot. Like, honestly, we could probably do an entire hour just talking about that one shot, and I swear to Christ, I promise you we are going to try not to. But
this is part 3. We're not going to do a part 4.
It wouldn't make any fucking sense. This is 3D.
If there's a part 4, don't listen to it.
Don't. But seriously, if there's part 4, please listen. Please.
Like, comment, and subscribe.
If we keep on going like this, there's going to be a part 4. The shark breaking through the glass. Let's just talk about the shark. The shark is just floating, no movement whatsoever from the shark. The lighting doesn't match up or anything.
Nope.
And then it comes to a direct halt, like a car stopping at a red light when it hits the glass.
Yep.
Huh.
And I tried so hard to lean in to be like, imagine you're in a theater in 1983 with 3D glasses on. Like, oh, the glass is breaking at me. That's what I'm looking at. And then you look, and the shark's not coming at me at all.
Yeah.
And it's so lackluster.
Just doesn't work. Yeah.
And yeah, of course, we're watching it now, and it's painful. But, man, like, the fact that they leaned so hard on that 3D is so frustrating. Because that scene could have been really fucking cool.
Yeah.
Like, take the control room with a huge window that has the wide open view of all your shit that you've spent $34 million on, and that thing just chooses to burst right in, allowing all that water in, and now you're in its home still
now,
to just come after you.
Do you think it would have been better had they chose not to do that scene in 3D and just use the animatronic?
100%. Yeah, it would have been so fucking cool. It
Yeah.
would have been so fucking cool. Would have been crazy and probably really dangerous to try and film,
Well,
the way they're gonna
maybe
do
if you
it,
use
but-
like miniatures or something like
Yeah.
that. Or,
Or,
you
like,
have that animatronic just break through like pixie glass or something like that. It would have looked better.
The heavy 3D lean really,
Yeah.
just killed the scene.
It does
Because
not.
afterwards, once it's in there, and they're swimming around it, it's pretty terrifying. Like,
Yeah.
it's not a bad scene.
Now, in retrospect, as a fan of So Bad It's Good,
Yeah.
because I know you are just like I am, do you just love that scene, though?
Because it's so bad, it's good?
Yes.
Yeah, probably.
It's one of those scenes that,
It
like,
still
I
frustrates
remember,
me.
it's beyond frustrating, but that's also, like, part of the love of So Bad It's Good.
You have to take it for what it is.
I remember, like, seeking it out before I'd ever seen the actual film.
Yep.
Because I had, like, read about it and heard about it and, like, watching it and going, there is no fucking way.
Yeah.
There is no fucking way. And then, like, buying the film and watching it.
It can't
and
be
just,
that bad.
And just being, like, fucking blown away by the fucking... God, how preposterous it is.
Yeah. And that was supposed to be, like, this terrifying moment.
And I don't know if it's going to be in the Wikipedia notes, but I've heard on social media and stuff that, like, when they talked about that shot, it was referenced as, quote, the money shot.
That makes me so happy.
Yeah. So, with that in mind, we'll jump back to the Wikipedia notes here.
Yeah.
Jaws 3D had 2 3D consultants. The production started with Chris Condon, president of Stereovision, and Stan Loth was later added to the team for the ReVision 3D. Production began using Stereovision. This was dropped after a week for the ReVision, which Alves believe was a superior system because it had a wider variety of lenses. According to Alves, inferior systems led to ghosting and blurring, leaving the audiences with headaches. He says the left and right images in Jaws 3D are very well matched, and the photography is very clean. It's restful to the eye, and though we do have occasional effects where things do emerge towards the audience from the plane of projection, you come out of the film without a headache. Historian R.M. Hayes says that the film was shot using both Vision and Stereovision single strip over and under units. Both cameras were used in conjunction with each other. This is a means of shooting 3D movies in normal color with a single camera and a single strip of film. The Vision 3D technique uses a special twin lens adapter fitted to the film camera and divides the 3D film frame in half along the middle, capturing the left eye image in the upper right half of the frame and the right eye image in the lower half, a technique known as over-under. This allows for filming to proceed as for any standard 2D film without considerable additional expense to having to double up on cameras and film stock for every shot. So there's a whole other paragraph and a half about all this way of going about filming 3D that I will not bore you guys with because it's more than my brain can comprehend after fucking 3 shots of tequila and 6 tequila Sprites and a tall boy of Modelo.
You're welcome.
But needless to say, it sounds like they were really, really trying to put their best foot forward.
They did.
And I mean, the 3D aspect, if you just want to jump into it and cover it right now, we are seeing it in retrospect. We're seeing a lot of the 3D images after the fact, not in 3D. We see the gimmick.
Yeah.
And it's hokey.
Yeah.
But, again, it lends itself to the personal, for me, personally, I find it so humorous and so entertaining when that shit pops up. And it makes the movie more enjoyable to me.
Yeah.
Because I see, how they, shot themselves in the foot with this and how hard they have to try for it,
I really wish they would have done both, if it was possible. Like, make a 3D version. Because I think on its own, it could have been really fucking cool had they not focused so much on that aspect.
Yeah.
And put so much effort into, like, if that's their money shot, it was just so lackluster. And I mean, I'm sure, it's 1983, and you're like, everything in the world's probably going to be in 3D. It's cool. They're going to watch it like this forever. And if not, whatever. Which is a bummer, because that money shot is very fucking trash right now. But, is what it is. But it would have been really cool to see a version, had they put a normal amount of effort into filming it as a Jaws movie.
Yeah.
Without all this 3D bullshit.
Without all the gimmicks,
That money shot could have been fucking rad. Just nose first coming through the screen. Not screen. Glass of the control room. And just wreaking havoc. Yeah. Would have been really fucking cool.
Well, if you'll permit me, I have something that can, tag onto that and jump into more effects talk. So, like,
yes.
I have here, like, the shark itself, like, the animatronic that they use, doesn't really look good. I would say it's still better than the shark that they use in Jaws of Revenge. I think it does, like... Excuse me. It doesn't necessarily look more realistic, but what they do with it is more realistic.
Yes.
The shark in Jaws of Revenge, they have him fucking bouncing around the water and doing fucking backflips and shit. Like,
out of the water.
It's just preposterous. I think they got very close to a shark that you know looks animatronically correct in Jaws the Revenge.
Yes.
But this shark, how it moves and everything, like its movement, like particularly the shots from behind the tail.
Yeah.
Like anything coming toward the camera, it looks funky. But
weak.
all those shots from like behind the tail, the dorsal fin and all that shit looks really cool.
Yeah,
it looks really cool. The way it moves, it's very, very good, and I like those shots a lot. Those are some of my favorite shots in the film.
They're strong.
Yeah. And I would argue that that's like the film's high point as far as special effects are concerned. I have one or two other things over on my side, but what do you got as far as your effects notes are concerned?
I had little shit. It was like, you know, effects-wise, it was more how when they did have footage of like a real great white, how fast it was sped up. And they were like really pushing the aggression. And like they had good footage of like an actual great white swimming, which, you know, they reuse here and there, but like, man, they jammed it up so fast.
Yeah, they cranked that film.
And it was only kind of a bummer because they compared it right next to somebody like swimming.
Yeah.
And then this thing's just like jamming through the water and like, it's so obvious.
That's also the thing, like sharks, they very rarely do they look like they're swimming as fast as they actually are.
Yeah,
you know,
or as fast as they fucking can.
They glide, man. Yeah. Every now and then you'll see like footage. I think I've sent you a couple of videos of like a shark.
Like,
fucking gunning it through the deep up to like a camera or something like that has bait on it. Like, what the fuck? Yeah.
They're usually coming up. It's not they're on the surface. Yeah. Like fucking gunning it as fast as they can, like you said, like that shit's just too obvious.
Yeah.
And it's so clear.
Yeah, you don't need to speed the film up.
Yeah.
That much.
They're scary enough.
They're terrifying. I have janky sub with pressurized sound.
Oh yeah. That was good.
They're a little submarine that clearly allows water in.
Yep.
But like when the sub is first introduced, it opens up with this like janky little plexiglass window.
Yeah.
And there's a pressurized sound to it for some reason. And you can see it like wobbling. You're like, yeah, that's not how
that sounds like a submarine opening a hatch. They did that a couple times too. And then they're like down in there and there's like one little bubble of water and they're wearing full like respirators.
Yeah.
I'm like, I mean, it's definitely not
pressurized.
It's, you know, you do you.
It's your movie, guys.
Yeah, I'm just here to watch without 3D glasses.
And then I have here the money shot, which we already talked about.
Yeah.
And then the final shot, which is the freeze frame.
Oh,
cat with her arms out and these fucking like golden dolphins that are not
It's hard because they did a shot right before of it jumping out of the water for real, doing its spin, and it's like, oh man, yeah, you get to see it, and they're like right next to each other, and you can see the size difference, and then the final scene with like the golden hour, and she has her hands up in the air, and the two of them are like half the size maybe, and like golden lit.
I'm trying to figure, like, in watching it, it doesn't. Is it? It has to have been a 3D effect, right? But it just
had to have been, yeah.
It doesn't. It doesn't
so, like,
translate
if
at
you're watching
all.
the screen, they're out at you.
Yeah, so it would be a little bit more proportionate, right?
So they would be the right size, I guess, in comparison, but glowing.
Theoretically speaking,
and framing the.
Well, maybe because like it was sunset and everything, like maybe all of that would translate better.
I'm telling you, man, we should have our glasses on.
Yeah. Dude, I thought about it. I honestly thought about it too late. I considered it and then forgot about it. And I was like, dude, I should get us like some legit, because they're out there.
Of course they are.
It's like I should get us some legit Jaws 3D glasses, and like I wanted us to wear them in this episode the whole time and everything.
Jaws 3D glasses.
Nevertheless, they would not have arrived on time.
Oh.
So from here, let's just talk a little bit about how this film was marketed, and then the reception of the film.
Yeah.
So jumping back on over to Wikipedia here.
Did anyone like this even when it came out?
I think it actually did fairly good at the box office.
Because the 3D was such a hot ticket, you think?
I don't know. I think 2 being as solid as it was probably like the big thing.
All right.
So marketing, the film was heavily promoted before its wide release in the across the USA. As with Jaws 2, Topps produced a series of trading cards. I really want to get some. When I was looking for 3D glasses, that was the thing that was advertised was fucking cards, and I was like, dude, I'm gonna buy some.
How expensive are those?
They're cheap. Television stations were encouraged to broadcast the feature making of Jaws 3D Sharks Don't Die in primetime slot between July 16th and July 22nd, 1983. Quick note, if for any reason that is on YouTube, I will go and find it and post the link in the description. If not, I apologize up front. Alan Landsberg Productions found itself in trouble for using 90 seconds of footage from National Geographic in 1983 documentary film The Sharks in the feature without authorization.
No shit.
Yeah. There's your real shark footage, buddy.
Pirated.
Box office. The film grossed 13,004,012. It grossed 13 million on its opening weekend, which was 1983's second highest grossing opening weekend of the year, playing on 1,311 theaters at its widest release and accounting for 29.5% of its final gross. It has achieved total lifetime worldwide gross of about $88 million.
Get it.
Despite being number one at the box office, this illustrates the series' diminishing returns since Jaws 3D has earned nearly $100 million less than the total lifetime gross of its predecessor, and $300 million less than the original film. The final sequel would attract even lower income, with around 2/3 of Jaws 3D total lifetime gross. That just shows you how bad Jaws the Revenge got it. After its opening week in the film's box office grosses declined sharply by 40% during the later weeks, although it was still drawing huge audiences when it was pulled from theaters. Film historian R.M. Hayes says this action was pure nonsense, considering some cinemas were actually turning over more money per screen than the latest Star Wars film. So it sounds like it was pulled from theaters too soon.
Yikes, yeah. God damn. What the hook?
Yeah, man.
That's harsh.
But, yeah, clearly not. So what I think is that, if you remember right, when we talked about Jaws the Revenge, talked about how senior executive Sid Sheinberg saw that Jaws 3 made a lot of money and that there was, potential to make a lot of money with Jaws 4. And so he's looking at these numbers saying, let's go with it, sort of a deal. But there's diminishing returns because this just isn't a great film. So it's really high in its first weekend, and then has
people are gonna go fuck around.
Yeah. So critical
does this thing of things.
Yeah. Critical reception. Reception for the movie was generally negative. Variety calls it tepid, and suggests that Alves fails to linger long enough on the Great White. Whatever that means. There's plenty of Great White in that movie.
It's all Great White,
actually. DQ in the Great White, man. It has 11% on Rotten Tomatoes, based on 35 reviews, with its critical consensus stating a cheese-soaked ocean thriller with no evident reason to exist. Jaws 3 bellows forth with a plaintive yet ultimately unheeded cry to put its franchise viewers out of its misery. Jesus Christ. That's fucking savage.
If only the director knew anything about directing. Good Lord.
Too real, bro. Yeah, so says the 3D was criticized as being a gimmick to attract audiences to the aging series and for being an attribute lost on video, thereby removing most of the distinctive elements of an otherwise run-of-the-mill sequel. One reviewer says that with Richard Matheson's name attached to the script, you'd expect better than a yarn. Although he continues to say that the film is entirely watchable with a big bag of popcorn. Others are disappointed that Matheson and Gottlieb produced this script, given their previous successes. Although most critics are in agreement that Jaws 2 is the best of the Jaws sequels, some are unsure if Jaws 3D is better than Jaws the Revenge. One reviewer says of Jaws 3D, campy performances, cheesy special effects, and downright awful dialogue attribute to making Jaws 3 a truly dismal experience for just about everyone. It's not only hard to believe that a sequel this downright abominable didn't kill the franchise, but that it actually would be followed by a movie that it was arguably worse, Jaws the Revenge. Among some of its flaws, some critics describe the film as marginally entertaining. The sound design has been commended, especially that shark sound design.
Hey.
And
Sandy.
Sandy Berman. The moment when an infant's cry is heard when the baby shark dies in the pool is particularly praised by one viewer. Cool. That doesn't make any fucking sense whatsoever. I didn't notice it.
Fuck me either. That's terrible if it did.
Yeah. In her screenwriting textbook, Linda Aronson suggests that its protagonist, played by Quaid, is a major problem for the film. She says that after taking too long for him to be introduced, the character is essentially a passive onlooker. There is no hunt until the climax when the shark is terrorizing people in the aquarium. Only then does Mike Brody become central to the action. She also highlights inaccuracies in the plot. For instance, she refutes the idea of a mother shark protecting her offspring, as sharks do not mother their young, and points out that dolphins can attack sharks, which they do in the film.
Yeah.
Oddly enough.
Aggressively.
Yeah. Leonard Maltin calls the film a road company Irwin Allen type disaster film, and notes that the premise is similar to the 1955 sequel to The Creature from the Black Lagoon. Jaws 3D was nominated for 1983 Golden Raspberries, including Worst Picture, Director, Supporting Actor, for Lou Gossett Jr. Fuck you! He's the best part of the goddamn movie. Screenplay and newcomer, Cindy and Sandy, the Shrieking Dolphins, but received none. God, even the Dolphins even the Dolphins are taking a hit.
God damn. Ruthless.
Thoughts, comments.
Ooh, man.
There's a lot to unpack there.
You got ripped apart. Good lord. That's painful. I mean, I didn't think it was great, but good lord.
Well, you're coming off of Jaws 2, and again, we're kind of doing this in reverse, so that movie is not fresh in your mind, but it's certainly fresh in my mind. And I'll say it right now.
Yeah.
I've said it 1,000 times before this, and I'll say it, a goddamn 100 before this series is over. Jaws 2 is the second best shark movie ever made.
Cool.
So it's a fucking serious drop in quality. You are going from a cold, hard thriller to what is essentially a Mickey Mouse picture.
Yeah.
Like, Jaws 3D is dumb fun.
Yeah.
At its very best.
It's painful.
Like, even if you are going to say, like, somewhere out there's at least one person that this is their favorite fucking movie. You know that there is one person out in the world that Jaws 3D, this is their favorite fucking movie. But even that person could not argue that it is better than Jaws or Jaws 2. They have some sentimental value that is attached to it that makes them love and enjoy it,
That makes sense, yeah. And which they appreciate the fucking hell out of it, and it's... You have to take it for what it is.
Yeah.
It's just cheap, shitty fun. The end. You cannot take it for more than what it is. They leaned into a lot of 3D.
Arguably too much.
Arguably. And they put a lot of that into the production of it, clearly. If that was their money shot. You gotta take it for what it is, It's fucking Jaws 3-D.
Now, folks, I don't want to, bust your bubble or anything, but at this stage in the game, me and Mr. Calvert are pretty goddamn drunk. So you'll forgive us if we seem repetitive and a little slurish with our words.
It's probably the best movie I've ever seen in my life.
Now, we're gonna dive into our rankings here. So I feel like we might have just spoiled Brian's ranking.
You have to go first because I gotta think about it first.
We did the last one out of what the traditional Jony Horror Review ranking is out of 10. So
what did we end up ranking? The Revenge.
I think we're.
Did we put it in the 7s?
Did we put it in the 7s?
I don't remember.
In the 7s?
All right.
7 out of 10?
I hope not, but I'm one man.
I think we were both at around 2.5 for Jaws: The Revenge.
Thank God.
There's a couple of different things to consider. Rewatchability, enjoyability, and really, if the movie's any damn good.
Did we really put The Revenge in the 2s?
Yeah.
That makes sense, though. I mean, that makes me happy.
Movie's hot garbage.
I was getting worried, actually. I was like, fuck, did we do 7s? That's good.
I hope not. Because there's like literally only 3 numbers to go from there.
I just listened to that podcast here. I don't remember.
Yeah, no, we ranked that pretty low. I'm honestly gonna put Jaws 3D out of 10. God, it's a solid 4.5 for me, I would say. I like the film a lot. I think it's a lot of fun. I think, honestly, there is some scary shark stuff in it. Seeing that, like, hulking mass, like, move through the ocean is creepy. Still, like, even you said it at one point where you're like, I wouldn't want to be in the water with that thing, even as fake as it looks.
Nope.
Wouldn't want to be in the water with that.
Fuck no.
I would fucking ride on the back of the shark in Jaws: The Revenge, no problem. Like, that thing just looks silly to me.
Yeah.
But the murky water, the always enjoyable Dennis Quaid coked out of his mind, Lou Gossett Jr. just fucking killing it, and my boy Fitzroyce with a fucking astounding death scene.
Okay. Oh yeah. All right.
And just a great setting. Like, I do think that this film is fucking trash. By no means is Jaws 3D a good movie. It has not aged well. Arguably has aged worse than Jaws: The Revenge based on graphics alone. But I do think it is a fun, dumb fun film. So I'm going to give it a solid 4.5 out of 10 for some good old-fashioned hot 80s trash. Just the hottest summer day in New York City. Someone threw out some fucking old chicken that's been sitting in
That's aggressive.
85-degree weather and it's
really
been
gross.
rotting in a black plastic garbage bag. That is my hot 80s trash.
Alright, we're moving on. Cool.
Take.
Yeah. So, God, it's so aggressive. God.
Brian, your ranking, please.
That's gross. As much as I wanted to give it a solid 3.0.
Oh, coming in low.
I wanted to. I really did.
Just, 2.9?
No, I actually went up.
Oh, wow.
Especially after hearing your review, I actually went up.
Oh, wow.
I went up 4 times. I went up... that's hard.
4 times?
Don't worry about it.
The math.
I gave it a 3.0 because I wanted to, because it's 3D. I really did. I wanted to give it a 3.0,
Yeah.
but I feel like it deserved better. I was kind of shitting on it. And then I went up to a 3.5 as I was thinking about it. And then you pitched it pretty well. And the more I think about it, I'm like, if you take some of the 3D bullshit out of the way and you really lean into it for what it is, as a fucking Jaws movie, it's fucking pretty cool. And the story's pretty fucking kick-ass.
Yeah.
Obviously, they could have done better. They also could have done a lot worse.
Too real.
Which is where I bounced around on a couple numbers. And I landed on a 4.25.
Oh, wow. Hot damn.
Give it a 4.25.
So what does that put us at? Like a solid 4.35 for final total?
Give or take. Yeah, I couldn't go higher than yours.
I hope not. I'm being generous because I love the franchise.
And I felt like a dick going lower.
Yeah.
Because it is shit, but I feel like it deserved, the work they put into it.
Yeah. And I'm sure it was...
They did the best with what they had, and that's why I was like, anywhere in the threes is just a fucking dick down.
Yeah.
Come on, give them a little bit better. It's more than that for sure, and it ain't the revenge. So.
Goddamn right.
Yeah, 4.25.
Oh damn! So I would say that puts us at a. We'll kind of teeter this out and put it at a 4.3 for a grand total for the
I'm into that.
Jony Jawscast on Jaws in 3D. Is this a movie you would recommend to your friends?
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah?
Yeah, absolutely.
Have a couple of beers.
I wouldn't tell them that it's in 3D. I mean, it's kind of...
the Blu-ray that I have just says Jaws 3, so,
You just gotta put it on.
Yeah.
You turn it on, people are like, wait, it's
Why?
fucking 3D? And I'm like, no, just watch it, it's fine.
Yeah.
It's good. Just
and then the minute the fucking fish head is floating.
and mouth's moving still. Yeah. Yep. They'll be like, God damn it. Oh, yeah, you're already invested. Fuck off. Welcome to the Jaws. You're gonna know. Like, is that fucking Dennis Quaid? I'm like, you haven't seen anything yet, baby. Let's go.
DQ, baby.
Yeah, that's just the beginning. You think that's the most you're gonna see of Sheldon? I was pretty sure I said nothing. You're gonna get a lot more Sheldon here. You can buckle up.
Well, we're gonna go ahead and wrap up this episode here. We do have one last bout, and arguably the thing that both of us have been looking forward to the most. So we'll do a little bit of background. When we started this podcast, we talked about our likes and our dislikes. I, on my likes, had Philip Fitzroyce as a character that I liked and thoroughly enjoyed. I think he's a handsome guy, very charming, and very unlikable in the right sort of way, and likable in the right sort of way. Kind of a scumbag, but also, not the worst type of person. You're kind of rooting for him. And my boy Brian here might have felt a little bit different. Why don't you just fill us in really quick about how you feel about Philip Fitzroyce,
Brian?
Brian?
He really fucking pissed me off is how I feel about him. If we're doing it really quickly, he's fucking annoying as shit, and he pissed me off. And the way they put him in, I feel like that's how he's supposed to be. And then they fucking kill him off. And it's all heroic, and it's like one of the best Jaws deaths to boot. And I'm like, fuck, do I like this character now? And it's really annoying. And the more we talk about it, the more I like him. And it's really starting to piss me off. But I will fucking lean into the fact that he's a piece of trash. And he plays the role very well. He teeters the line.
Like
someone else.
I would agree with that. Now, we have come up with this special category that is 100% the Jony Jawscast. This is something we've come up with, and this is something we're very proud of, based strictly on our history here at the Jony Jawscast. Given what we've established with me being a big fan of Fitzroyce and Brian not being a big fan of Fitzroyce, this kind of goes back to our first episodes on Jaws the Revenge, where I was a big fan of Michael Caine's Hoagie in Jaws the Revenge, and
fucking idiot.
Our buddy Brian here, not the biggest fan.
Trash.
Hot take. So, based strictly on that history, we are going to award Philip Fitzroyce the Hoagie Award for this episode. Yeah. So this award goes to the most divisive character of the movie. Anybody who that Brian and I either are both very passionate about in one regard or the other. But we're gonna keep this trend going for our future episodes, and yeah, congratulations, Philip Fitzroyce.
You earned it, pal.
You are the guy, man.
R.I.P.
Yeah, man. Cheers to one hell of a death. And
damn, that was good too.
Oh, definitely up there.
Good sharp death.
Like in the top 5 deaths.
At least.
But yeah, moving forward, just give you a quick little idea of what to expect from the Jony Jawscast. We might be steering away from Amity Island / Orlando / SeaWorld / the Bahamas. And veering away to some other oceanic
deeper seas.
Deep blue-ish seas, perhaps? Hard to say. We might just be diving into some Jaws-inspired waters to kind of keep this series going and keep things a little bit fresh, a little bit interesting, and a little bit longer, because we're having fun doing this.
Yep.
And we just kind of want to keep it going. So, thank you all for tuning in to the Jony Jawscast. Thank you for being a part of the third dimension with us. I've been your host, Johnny Maresca, and with me, my good buddy,
Brian Calvert. I'm not gonna do it. No, don't make me
Come on,
do
just
it.
do it.
God, no,
It's
hurts
the thing
my
now.
Heart.
Do it.
Ayo.
Heyo!
God damn it.
Brian, is
That's embarrassing.
is there a place where people can find you and reach out to you
No,
on the internet?
not after that.
All right, there it is. Thanks for listening. You guys are pretty fucking rad if you made it this far. And to Future and Johnny Bryan, who are definitely listening to this, you guys keep it on. We love you.
Fuck off.
Adios, muchachos.
I'm getting a beer.
I'm thirsty.